Welcome back to another On Base Advanced video. In this video I'm going to walk you through just sort of the first 3 or 4 rolls that come off of the pitcher card. There's a couple of things that can happen and a couple of little extras, I guess, that you can add in and to normalize the gameplay. So we have our On Base roller. So this is actually the one for On Base Advanced. There's a separate roller application, dice roller application that you can find online for the On Base Basic, which has 3 die instead of, or 3 dice instead of 2. But for our purposes, we have two dice. And when we click, you just get a random roll. And the way that we read the dice, we read them together. So not as a 5 and a 2, but as a 52. This is, I play 10s as 0, so 0, 7, 74, 28, etc. The only time when that's different is with the fielding matrices. And once you go to the fielding matrices, you read it as a 2 and an 8. So that's the only time that we sort of break up combining them together. The game is based off of 100. Many of the metrics that we use are actual percentages, so we're working off of 0 to 100 or 1 to 100. You can do 0 to 99 if that's something you feel more comfortable with. You'll just have to sort of adjust everything. We have a pitcher card here, and this is Brandon Woodruff, 2019 with Milwaukee, you can see. And if you watched the first video about the sort of the introduction to all the card components, you can go through what each of these means. I'm not really going to do that right now, but what we do is our first roll. Let's go our first roll. First roll is a 92. You can see here the first roll is going to determine which pitch. Let's say he's facing a right-handed batter. So we're going to use the numbers in red. And so on a 92, you can see here his numbers. It's not doing it very well. Hopefully you can see the numbers there. He's got a 69, a 24, and a 7. So 1 to 69 is going to be fastball. 70 to 93 is going to be a breaking ball, and then 94 to 100 is going to be an off-speed pitch. So we have a 92 that puts us right at the edge of the breaking ball. So on this particular pitch, it's going to be a breaking ball, and then now we need to decide to find out, was the breaking ball in the zone or not in the zone. And so we're looking at this number here now, which is 42. So if our next roll is 1 to 42, it's in the zone. If it's 43 to 100, then it's out of the zone. And it's a 15, so that's less than 42, so it's in the zone. So he throws a breaking ball, it's in the zone. And then we come down to our numbers here. We have potential for an O swing or a Z swing. Z swing means for pitches that are in the zone, and O means for pitches outside the zone, O for outside. So we can ignore this whole left side here, and we're going to be focused on these 2 right here. So first we want to know, did the player swing at the pitch? Did the batter swing at the pitch? And again, we're looking at our right hand numbers, and we're looking at this one. So the number is 59. If it's 1 to 59, then there's a swing. If it's greater than 59, then there's no swing. Right? So it's a 34. A 34 is less than 59. So there is a swing on the pitch, and then now we come to this Z contact, and then we want to know, did the player make contact with the pitch? So we got a breaking ball, it's in the zone, there is a swing, but did the batter make contact? The roll is a 30. You can see that that's less than 89. So if it's less than or equal to 89, then it's going to be contact on the play. And this would then, because there's contact, we would go over to the batter card after this, and then we would try to resolve the at-bat. So essentially, Woodruff threw a breaking ball. He threw it into the zone. There was a swing on the pitch, and then there was contact after the swing is made. And then we have to determine, was there a base hit? So there's sort of an automatic opportunity for a base hit for the batter. And then if there's not a base hit, what sort of contact did he make and where did it go in the field? So you can see that we're sort of breaking down each at bat at every different level. I really tried to just totally start from scratch and envision myself standing on the mound. What happens during the at-bat? First you need to choose which pitch. You have to deliver the pitch. Was it in or out of the zone? And if it's in or out of the zone, it doesn't mean that players don't swing. So then you need to determine, did the player chase or did the player swing at a pitch that's in the zone? Not every time you're going to swing, not every time you're going to lay off, right? And then if you swing, did you make contact? Sometimes players can get base hits, home runs, on balls that are out of the zone, so it's not strange that a player would hit a ball that's out of the strike zone. But you can see here that the percentage of swings is less when you're out of the zone than when you're in the zone. It's a little blurry. Yeah, it's a little bit better. You can see here that the percentage of swings that are out of the zone are definitely less than the percentage of swings in the zone. Same thing with contact. They're definitely making contact at a higher rate that when it's in the zone than out of the zone. So it follows regular baseball. These are actual statistics in the year from Brandon Woodruff. This is 2019. You can see at the bottom. And these are his actual percentages and stats. Okay, one thing I want to show you is the automatic strikeouts and automatic walks. And we'll roll through another pitch sequence here. This time I'm going to choose the pitch. Let's say it's 3-0, and we need to get a strike over. So we're going to try to do that. We're going to pick our highest end zone pitch, which is our fastball, and we're just going to sort of eliminate this first roll by choosing fastball. So the first roll is just choosing what pitch type. So if we choose ourselves fastball, breaking ball, or off speed, we can just sort of eliminate this first roll and go right into the second roll. So we're going to choose a fastball. If it's 1 to 56, it's in the zone. If it's greater than 56, then it's out of the zone. Remember, it's 3 balls and no strikes. Okay, it's a 45. So the plan was successful. The ball is in the zone. And then you would move to your Z swing to C. It's a 72. A 72 is actually greater than 71, which means that there was no swing. Remember, it has to be 1 to 71 for there to be a swing on the play. And so greater than 72 means he threw a fastball, it was in the zone, and there was no swing. So the player took 3 balls and no strikes, and then they count as now 3 balls and 1 strike. So that's how you do choosing the pitch. You can choose a pitch on every single play. You can never choose the pitch and just let the pitcher's percentages determine which pitch was thrown. Or like in that case, maybe all the way through 3 balls and no strikes, I've allowed the pitch percentage to determine what pitch type. And then at 3 balls and 1 strike, I want to make sure that I'm throwing a particular pitch. Maybe when you got a guy down 2 strikes, you want to look at his card and see, where's my best chance to get him out. Maybe it's with a breaking ball, and so I want to throw a breaking ball to try to put the batter away and get a strikeout. Same thing with, I got one out and I got the bases loaded, and I need to try to get a ground ball double play or a ground ball to the infield. So what you want to do is look and see what the greatest ground ball percentages are on different types of pitches, and then you can roll the dice with your pitcher to throw that pitch. Realize that some pitchers don't have 3 pitches. Most starters are going to have 3 pitches down here, but some relievers only have fastballs and breaking balls. So if the batter's off speed is the one that he pounds into the ground the most and hits ground balls on, then that's going to be sort of eliminated against that particular pitcher. So there's a lot of strategy that goes into this. There's a lot of sort of looking ahead and looking forward, seeing just like you would in a real game. What's this batter's weakness? The way I play it typically is I let the pitcher decide most of the game. If, like I said, 3-0, I want to make sure that he's throwing a particular pitch because the percentage of getting it in the zone, this is fully 15% more between a breaking ball and a fastball. So I want to increase my odds as much as possible to get the ball in the zone. Okay, let me show you the auto strikeouts. So on the first pitch of every at bat, so the batter steps in, whatever happened to the last batter, that at bat's over, new batter steps into the box. On the first pitch of every at bat, there's an opportunity for the pitcher to automatically strike out this player, or there's an opportunity to automatically walk the player. So we'll do our first roll, which is pitch percentage. So a 36 against a right-hander is it's going to be a fastball, and then 88 means it's out of the zone. It's greater than 56, so it's a fastball out of the zone. And so we need to come over here to our Z swing. Now, when I roll this number, if the number, which is a 47, you can see, if the number is equal to or less than the K percentage, we wouldn't use that for that one. We would use the walk percentage. If this number, auto Ks and auto walks are hard to explain. The auto walk number that we evaluate is 100 minus the rounded down version of walk percentage. So his walk percentage is 6. For our purposes, it's 6.1, but we're going to round it down. Regardless what the decimal place is, we round it down. So his walk percentage is 6. 100 minus 6 is, what was that, 94? That's not true. 95. 6, 7, 8, 9, 100. So it's a 95. Any roll from 95 to 100 on the O swing roll, just for the first batter, or the first pitch of the bat, sorry. Anything from 95 to 100 is going to be an automatic walk. Now for our purposes, we have a 47, so that falls less than the 95. So the result of this play is just going to be a ball. Let's try it again. So 49 is going to be a fastball. 0-2 is inside the zone. So it's a fastball in the zone, and now we're looking at the Z swing. Remember, this is the first pitch of the at-bat. When it's in the zone, we're checking for an automatic strikeout. Automatic strikeouts are similar but opposite. So a 1 to 29, because its K percentage is 29, we round that down as well. So a 1 to 29, if this roll had been, say, 12, that would have been inside his automatic K range, and that would have been an automatic strikeout on the batter. As it is, it's greater than his K percentage, but it's less than his swing percentage. So it's still within the 1 to 71 here, 68. So that's actually a swing on the plate. Let's do it again. 57, another fastball. 54, that means it's in the zone. Okay, and so here's one that we finally get in the zone. This is our first pitch of the at bat. You can see that 16 is less than 29. So there's an opportunity for an automatic strikeout here. Now there's one other number that comes into play, and that's off the batter card. So this is Michael Brantley. You can see here that he has a K value of -10. Now some batters are inherently better at avoiding strikeouts than others. So this is what this number means. The lower the number, the better he is at avoiding strikeouts. Did this to kind of normalize strikeouts, because if you do the auto Ks, it sort of gets out of whack. It's good for the pitcher, but it's out of whack for the hitters. So he has a -10, and what that means is that we subtract this 10 from the K percentage, so that knocks Brandon Woodruff down to a 19. So 29 minus the 10 is 19. So in reality, we treat him, just for this batter, just for Michael Brantley, as if his K percentage was 19. So if our roll had been 23, that would normally be a strikeout, but -10 makes him a 19, so he would avoid sort of that automatic strikeout. As it is, our roll is a 16, and so our number here is 19. It's still less than 19, so that would be an automatic strikeout, even though Brantley is pretty good at avoiding strikeouts. So you can see there's an opportunity for the batter to try to avoid strikeouts a little bit. Javi Baez here, you can see that his K value is 0, and what this value is based on is his actual strikeout percentage. So anyone with a strikeout percentage from 15 to 20 is a -5. Anyone from 10 to 15 is a -10, and then anyone with the strikeout percentage less than 10% is -15. So if that had been the case with Brantley, he would have avoided the strikeout. But you can see, you take 15 off of 29, you're left with 14, and you only have what is that? You've basically taken 50% off of your ability to strike out the batter. So it can affect the at-bat quite significantly if you have that -15. There are only a handful of players that are like that. You can see Cody Bellinger here, next batter up. He's a -5, so that means his strikeout percentage, which we don't have down here, his strikeout percentage was somewhere between 15 and 20%. Anything over 20% is a 0. So that's where Javi Baez is. Okay, so that's the only adjustment that needs to be made for the automatic strikeouts. So just make sure when you're evaluating the K percentage that you look to see, does the batter have a K value that's going to lessen, that's going to bring down that K percentage. And now, like I said, after every other at bat, or after every other pitch, or after the first pitch, then the automatic Ks and the automatic walks don't come into play. I used to play it like that, and you get crazy numbers like 17 strikeouts a game. it's too many. But if you don't employ the auto Ks, you'll find out that the strikeout numbers are a little lacking. Just allowing the players to do this, go through the numbers on their own. So in order to normalize strikeouts, and it does normalize them, we added the automatic strikeouts and the automatic walks. And a couple of different other small things that might come into play. So roll 42, so that's a fastball. A 72 will be out of the zone. If this number were to be 100, if roll 2 is 100, then the result of that play is a wild pitch or a pass ball. A wild pitch or a pass ball. Reason being, it's a good way to get those into the game, but also, it's out of the zone and at the most extreme place out of the zone, which is kind of what a wild pitch, pass ball is. And the way that you would determine whether it's a wild pitch or a pass ball would be to take a catcher. Let me find a catcher here. Okay, the catcher is James McCann. So on a wild pitch, let's say this was 100. We need to determine, was that on the pitcher or was that on the catcher? And the way we determine that is we look at the catcher's defense rating. So his rating is a 64. And we would roll. And we would see if it's 1 to 64, then it's a wild pitch. So the catcher's defense will have determined that it's a wild pitch. And if it's greater than 64, which it is here in 81, I don't know if you can see that or not. So it's greater than the 64, so that means it's a pass ball. So when you're marking it on your scorecard or in your software, you will mark it as a pass ball to James McCann. Again, that's only if the roll number 2 is 100. Okay, and the last one is on roll number 3, which is it's always going to be here on the outside of the zone swing. Because in the zone you're not going to hit a batter, so it has to be on the outside. So if you've rolled, it's a 50, so it's a fastball. This is out of the zone. Everything's lining up perfectly with the rolls. And then if the next roll here for outside swing, outside the zone swing, if that roll is 100, then the result is a hit by pitch. Because think about it, you've thrown the pitch, you've thrown a fastball outside the zone, and then there's no swing, right? 100 is greater than, nobody has 100% outside the zone swing percentage. And the result of the play is going to be hit by pitch. So that does happen a couple times a game sometimes. Most games I have at least one, but it doesn't have to happen. But the pitcher hits the batter. The batter takes first base. Okay. Trying to think if there are any other statistics that are going to determine anything as far as the pitch sequence, but that's sort of the basics. You got to keep a couple things in your mind with the wild pitches or the hit by pitch. If you don't remember that, it's not really going to significantly change the gameplay, but it's sort of adding some depth to the game. On a wild pitch, if there's nobody on base, it just counts as a ball. I mean, just think about a wild pitch in a game. If there are runners on base, everybody moves up one base. And again, you can choose the pitches. This is one of the most unique parts of the game, is the ability to be able to see the pitches and to choose the pitches. And just to reiterate, red numbers are against right-handed batters, black numbers are against left-handed batters. So if you're facing a lefty like Michael Brantley, who's a left-handed batter, you're going to want to use this left side number. And you can see he doesn't pitch lefties significantly different. He throws a few more breaking balls. He sort of doesn't throw breaking balls. He throws off-speed pitches. Also, he wants the ball to run away. from lefties, and he's okay with the ball running away from righties. So that's essentially what you're doing. But you can kind of see their strategies, what they're doing, how good they are, their control, how good they are at putting the ball in the zone. You'll notice, different players, whether they get hit hard when they throw the ball in the zone, or whether they get a lot of swings and contact on balls out of the zone. So you got pitchers like DeGrom. He's going to have a high swing, a higher swing outside the zone than a lot of pitchers, and he's going to have a lower contact outside the zone. He gets a lot of swing and miss type of at bats. Some pitchers, if you have that high number here and then you have that low number here, they got a really good changeup. So they're getting people to chase their changeup out of the zone. Sometimes you get a real high swing rate and a lower contact rate in the zone, so they're throwing that changeup in the zone and getting a lot of swings and misses. So it's a pretty cool way to kind of see all the different players at a level that you probably haven't seen before, as far as their tendencies and what they do. Okay, and then you can make decisions based on that when you're evaluating players too. So who to bring in, who to start, that type of thing. Okay, that's the pitcher card, and that's where every at bat starts. It starts with all these 4 roles, and you can see that sometimes there's going to be 2 or 3 rolls and automatic strikeout or auto walk or whatever. So the game does play about an hour and 15 minutes, but you don't have to do 7 rolls for every single at bat. All right, that's this video. The next one I'm going to show you the batter rolls.